real-time speed as recorded at 12.5 kilometers an hour at 2.5% incline, before on the left of the screen, after on the right. So we'll break it down and look to compare the before and after. So before we were looking at Footstrike in terms of left, as that foot was coming down. We were coming down with a high heel, with the hindmost part of the heel, which was leading to a high toe incline, as we've got here. And remember, that was causing a lot of heavy slapping on down onto the ground, which is going to affect shins and knee, which would be in the first video I sent through. We've also coming through with a long lever of that leg, which again is going to cause stress through the knee, and we had the compensation of the body falling forward. So we looked at changing the foot strike. We also looked at where we were landing, and before, Demir was landing ahead of his centre of gravity, which means in striving to run fast, he was taking a longer step, which was actually causing him to brake and spend longer time on the ground. And by having a long lever, leaning forward, it's very anterior dominant, quads and hip flexors. So that was on that left side. If we look at after, comparing that side as we come into position now on the left, Demir has absolutely done a superb job where we're landing not only forefoot but also coming down with a lower heel. The shin position is absolutely spot on. So we're always striving for a position whereby the shin is aiming to be perpendicular to the ground, and we can see there we're 89 degrees, so we're perpendicular to the ground. We've very much got the knee under the ankle, and we've got a soft bend in the knee, which is absolutely brilliant. So now Demir is not spending more time on, and spending less time in contact with the ground, and it's superb improvement. Equally, we've got no gap between the knees, so we can see that the body now, the running posture, has improved by focusing on those key points. So we've got that going nicely through the upper body, ear, shoulder, down to the hip, landing underneath our centre of gravity. So now Demir has got less contact with the ground. He's going to be able to pick up and maintain speed for a longer period of time. There's going to be less impact forces going through his body. So there's only going to be 2 times the body weight, which is the lowest we get to going through. So he's coming through nice and springy and light. If we have a look at the right foot as we came in before, again we could see there we had a similar picture whereby we were landing on the hindmost part of the foot, and again we had a high toe incline, so that would cause the same issues as we had before. Limb was not as straight, but still fairly long in terms of that position, and we had an overstride there as well, although it was less on that right side, but we still had that compensation from the body. So let's have a look at where we are afterwards, and we'll run it through. So we see as that foot's coming down, it's coming down perfectly again, forefoot, with that low heel. So the low heel is important because if we're changing from heel strike, from heel, we're putting a lot of pressure through the knee and the hip, as I mentioned, because of the foot slapping down. If we come too far on balls of our feet, we then transfer that stress to the Achilles and calf. But that is not the case because Demir has got an excellent foot position of a low heel. And again, if we look at that position of the shin is very good again. Soft knee, and is landing perfectly underneath his centre of gravity, so under his hips, which when we put the vertical line in, we can then see that we've got excellent alignment through the ear, shoulder, down to that hip. And if we watch as we play it through, the chest is facing forwards all the time, and there is no twisting. So if I just run that through, and we'll then look at the third thing, which was looking at the leg cycle. Okay, so what we looked at there is, if we start, we have a point of mid-swing. So if we switch to before, mid-swing is where we're looking to see where the heels are. Now, Demir was coming up just lower than the knee crease. The reason why we want to get above the knee crease is so that we can fire up the glutes and the hamstrings, which are our power muscles, which propel us forward. So that is the right. If we look at the left while we're still on the before, and we see before, the left was lower. Okay, in that position. We did have a very good heel and toe position as we came through. Now, if we look at afterwards, as we get into that mid-swing, we can see now where we're getting up to is Demir's holding that foot position superbly well, and we're now getting up to glute position. So really good leg cycle in that mid-swing. And if we have a look on the left side, we can see that we are absolutely equal. So the body has become balanced as a consequence, and that is a fantastic outcome that Demir has put the hard work into. So that is awesome in terms of that. And if we just look at how that transfers, what it means is Demir has more flight time. So if we look at where we were before, before we had the heel not coming higher than this circle here. Okay, and if we just compare the two. Sorry, I was a bit quick on the delete on there. I was trying to switch to the other side. Okay, and if we have a look at the other side as well, we'll just put this in. Might need to play around a little bit with it. So with a leg cycle, what we're looking to do is to decrease that time in contact with the ground. We want that foot coming up above the knee crease, also to activate the glutes and the hamstrings as mentioned. And you'll see here as we play it through now, the comparison between before and after, where before, as soon as that foot left, it was staying low to the ground, it was soon in contact with it, where the after, we're now drawing that circle round with those heels, which means we're going to have less contact with the ground because we've got a bit more increase in flight time, and it means we're going to be putting less stress on through the joints, through the body as we run. So that is again a fantastic improvement from Demir. So now the quad, as we had before, that was acting more of a brake. Now we've got the hamstrings and glutes firing. So the quad then has that elastic reflex just to carry the leg through to complete that running stride. So that's a really good improvement on leg cycle. Final thing we looked at is we looked at the arms. So before, if we just look at before, we can see that the arms were swinging across the body, not coming any higher than the Didcot Town badge, and it was the palm was facing to the chest. Okay, if we look at where we are after, we got this is perfect as well. We've got the elbow driving back into that position. We've got the palm facing the hip, which is superb. And we've then got that hand up to shoulder. and working at an absolutely brilliant angle as well, in terms of the angle of the arm, which is we've got it just nicely closed there, so we're causing that V. So that is really good work. If we have a look at, if we play it on. Again, we've got the same position, hand in terms of shoulder, elbow driving back. I mean, it's interesting. The body is so balanced now because we've got the elbow coming right back to the same position, and the same, so the lines can stay exactly the same. And you can see that the chest is now facing forward rather than continually rotating across. Before, if I just pause before, you can just see the Didcot Town badge opening up towards us. Where if we look at after, we've got the Oxford United badge facing towards the window. So the arms give rhythm, balance and speed. Now we've got that movement coming from that shoulder joint. The body is going to be propelling itself forward a lot easier. It's giving rhythm to the legs. And ultimately, Demir has done an absolutely awesome job embedding those key points. The difference before and after and holding those speeds is outstanding. So really good work from Demir. If you've got any questions about any of the points I've raised in there, please do not hesitate to get in touch. And I'll just finish with 10 seconds at real-time speed.